I paint eyes because I find honesty in them. I paint eyes because I want to challenge the viewer. I actually want to leave it up to the viewer. If they see themselves in it, if you see yourself looking at it, if you see other people looking at you. I think that's interesting. It's kind of like a bounce. You're bouncing. You don't know if you're being looked at, and you don't know if you're looking at it. I just want people to get lost in it and maybe question a couple of things. And if they do, then I've done my job as an artist. I'm Vin. I'm an artist and a painter from New York City. My earliest memory of art in the Philippines was probably, it mostly involves my uncle. He tinkers a lot. He's a self-taught painter and carpenter. I would go visit them on weekends, and I would always run to their garage or their kitchen, and I would always find him painting. I would watch him just paint, and to me I was just so amazed because in my head it was like, oh, this was just in his head, and now it's like I can see it. I remember very clearly my first painting or drawing. I was probably around 6 or 7 years old. I painted a giraffe. I think it took me a couple of days to draw it. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to look good. So I presented it to my mother, hoping that she'd be excited and happy that I presented her this image of a giraffe that I carefully drew for a couple of days. And later that day, I found it in the garbage. Looking back now, I kind of remember now why I hid my desires to be a painter. Why I hid all of my paintings as a kid and growing up and drawings under my bed, because I just didn't see the validation in it, or I didn't get the validation that I feel like I should have gotten from my mom or my parents. I mean, I don't blame them. They're like a traditional, Asian parents that like, either you're an architect, you're in the medical field. I don't feel sad about it, but that's just a memory that's stuck with me. I want people to encourage their children to pursue whatever they want, to let your kids be themselves and let your kids chase their dreams and aspirations, especially if it's creative. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to understand what it is, but just let your kids chase their dreams and be themselves, and let them draw on walls and stuff, and let them be messy with paint and things like that. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth for them and for you and for their own sanity and happiness, for you to just support them. Say, with my experience, it probably would have made a world of a difference if my mother just put it up on the fridge, or I don't know, framed it and not throw it out. I openly talk about this. I am diagnosed with clinical depression and severe anxiety. I have way better days now than bad, and I have it pretty much under control. But at the time, I was just in a very dark place, and I just decided to kind of like, you know what, let me like pick up a pencil and sketch again, because that's what I've always done anyways as a kid that made me happy. And when I started painting again and like sketching, I just felt this incredible amount of joy that I've never really felt in a long time. And it made me think that, oh, something could be there. But I didn't really think that it could be anything professional, if I'm being honest with you. I'm lucky and very grateful where I am right now, but at the time I wasn't really thinking of being a professional artist because I grew up in this very traditional Asian family where, unfortunately, I mean in my own family at least, creativity isn't seen as something that can be a career or a job. When I started sketching and painting again, that made me feel like, okay, I can kind of swim across, you know, and start not drowning again. And that kind of helped me be where I am right now. And that's how I started to like think if I want to pursue art. And I'm glad I did. I've visited New York a million times before and I love the city so much. But when I first moved here, it was probably close to 4 years ago. I just got back from a trip and I was in the back of a New York cab driving me to my new life here. And I saw the windows of Saks Fifth Avenue and it was so well lit and it was so beautiful. And I thought at the time, I was kind of like laughing while saying it in my head. It's like, oh, maybe one day I'll have like a small window there with my small painting, whatever. You know, I kind of giggled a little because it just seemed so far-fetched and it seemed impossible. So cut to right now, not only they commissioned me to do 6 windows for them, they also commissioned me to do 2 murals inside of the store, and I was the first muralist to ever do stuff for them indoors. And as far as I know, the first like Filipino-American to ever do windows for them. It made me feel validated. It made me feel like my journey here was worth it, and I am so thankful that I did that. I would get DMs and messages and emails from people talking about their own struggles with depression and anxiety, talking about how my work moves them or moved them. Particularly, I got this beautiful message from this woman who lives in California, who only sees my work, I guess, through Instagram and like whatever's posted about me. She said like she would sit in her living room, she would turn on some classical music, and she would just look at my work and she would just get lost in it. I was like, wow. I can't believe someone out there is looking at my work and getting lost in it, because that's exactly what I want people to feel. I thought that was pretty incredible. People tell me that they relate to my story, and I always tell people if I'm able to touch just one person through my story and my work, I feel like I've done my job as an artist. And I'm just glad I'm able to have this platform to share my work and my vision to people and have people see it and get moved and be inspired by it. Because it's still mind-blowing to me that I am where I am right now, because I'm a self-taught artist. I didn't go to art school. I taught myself how to paint, but you know, through hard work and just really studying my own craft, I'm able to be where I am right now. I mean, I still have a long way to go, but I'm grateful and happy that I'm able to inspire people in some form, in some way, even if it's just little. I want my work to be exposed to more people. Hopefully it touches them the way that it touches me. I hope it inspires people to chase their dreams and dream of something outside their traditional family values, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. That creativity is important in this world, and creativity pushes boundaries, and it changes some lives. At least it changed mine. As an artist representing Filipinos and I think Asians in general, this project is very important to me because I feel like representation is important, diversity is important. I think it's powerful not only for Filipinos or Asians in general, you know, a minority race, to be represented, to show that we all have a place in this world. We are heavily underrepresented in media and pop culture, and I hope that changes soon. We need to see people that look like us, or people that have been through the same struggles as us in media and pop culture. When you're someone that looks like me or have been through stuff, the same story as me, I think it's incredible and beautiful for someone to be like, oh, I relate to that story, I relate to that person, and you feel valued. And I think that's a beautiful thing.